Hey everybody, hey targeted individuals or chosen individuals and everybody else. Today is May the 1st, 2008, and this is Kyle with an update on my targeting. The murder is severe, like I'm being horrifically murdered while I sleep. I woke up at around 10 p.m. It's now like 1 a.m. in the morning. May the 1st, and I woke up at around 10 o'clock. I didn't really sleep. I stayed in my Faraday bunker today and listened to Dave's CD, and then it turned off, so I was in there for about 14 hours, and I woke up at 10 with my back feeling like it was broken, and this was from remote neural manipulation. This was from entrainment to my head, to my brain, and my nervous system, and they were pulsing pain down my back that made it feel like it was broken, as well as like even right now, there's heat being shot at the back of my neck. So my attackers are really focusing on my head and my neck and this side of my face, my jaw, my head, and my neck. So there's heat. Sometimes the heat comes from this way. My attackers are really focusing on my spine and my brain with external hits, and then I'm getting the remote neural manipulation for tons of pain. They're also hitting me in the thyroid along the left side of my head, so it'll cause horrible headaches and just severe irritation, to which is like just severe pain on this side. But I really wanted to report, this is, I want to document the crimes that are being committed against me, along with, the crimes of being murdered by electronic warfare and psychotronic weapons. I woke up at 10 o'clock with a text message, and I'm sorry, I've been sniffling a lot. I think it's just because my system is just overloaded. So I'm really sorry about that, guys. I apologize. But I woke up at about 10 o'clock and turned on my phone, and I had a text message from Capital One saying that there was a report of fraud from today. And I was, in my Faraday bunker all day, so I haven't used my card today. It was for 2 charges of $1,000 in Minnesota, and then a couple of charges in California, which were all fraud. So I'm trying to figure that out. The 2 things that I know are that my attackers, they're remotely surveilling me. They're hacked into my computer, remote neural monitoring, so they can get things from my visual cortex. I don't have my credit card information out anywhere else. I do use it, I use it online to order things, but I don't see where anybody could have gotten it. So I know that my attackers from these contractors who are microwaving me, they have something to do with it. I also know that they do not reside in Minnesota or California, so I'm trying to figure it out from there, and I'm going to talk to Capital One tomorrow or the next day. Excuse me, guys. I'm not in good shape at all. But I'm going to talk to Capital One tomorrow and see what I can do about it. The thing is, I usually only have like probably like $1,100 at the most in my account. But right now, my parents are helping me out to get a used car, because my car is it's about to break down. So I have a little bit more money in my account, and this comes at a time, the fraudulent charges come at a time when I have a couple of $1,000s in my account specifically, to buy the used car. So somebody in Minnesota at a Samsung store, a Samsung software store, charged like $2,000, and then in California there were some small charges. What my theory is right now is that my attackers, I know that they've always had this information. They always have my credit card information. And I just want to convey to everybody who's not a targeted individual that this is a very prime example, besides the murder and the rape and the mutilation by electronic warfare and psychotronic weapons, which is just blatant crime and actually cult murder. But this is a prime example of why this is crime. So my theory is that my attackers went ahead and maybe gave some contractors or put my credit card information out on some kind of some kind of national list, or just put it out there in some way where people randomly got it. They either did that, or they networked with contractors in Minnesota and California and passed along my credit card information to those contractors to use, so that it wouldn't be linked back to my area, and they would not be directly, I wouldn't be directly able to investigate my contractors, but they've gotten help from other contractors in other states to use my credit card information. It was a Samsung software store, lots of money, thousands of dollars, to almost $2,000. So I'm guessing that it was for software or equipment to actually use in this contracting work, which is really, it's just crime and murder against innocent Americans and innocent people in the country. I'm sorry, my nose is really itching. It's like my immune system is burnt out. Like my body is burnt out from the attacks. And I'm sorry if I'm more than a little bit agitated and stressed out, because I've known for the whole time that I've been attacked, pretty much, when I found out that they could remotely surveil things, and they're obviously hacked into the computer. So if I make a transaction online, they've got that credit card number. So they've had the people remotely surveilling me and attacking me. I've known that they've had my credit card, but I thought that I was safe, because I thought that if they used it, I would immediately be able to find out. Thank God for Capital One. And that's a prime example of why this is crime, because if it wasn't crime, and they could just steal money from us, and it was okay with all the national with all the national I can't really think right now, but if it was okay with all law enforcement and federal agencies, and Capital One was like, okay, well, this is just, we're just doing this to fight terrorism. They can steal this guy's money. They can use his credit card. I'd be like, well, then everybody's really a criminal. But these, Capital One, immediately saw those charges as fraudulent. And these people who are trying to act like, they're surveilling for terrorism or fighting terrorism with directed energy weapons and, remote surveillance, Capital One is not working alongside of them. These people are doing criminal activities that in the regular civilian sector are seen as crimes and treated as such. And this is, I really want to convey this. I don't understand why target individuals, we're getting tons of information out there. I think people, like at this point, normal people understand that this is happening. They just don't have the power to stop it. They don't know what to do about it. I think that's the point we're at. But the fact that, I just want to convey the fact that normal criminals do criminal things in the shadows. They're no different from these people with the directed energy weapons. They're no different from these murderers who are electronic warfare, electronically killing people in their sleep and while they're awake 24 hours a day. Well, actually, these people are worse. But I just want to make that comparison, that they are definitely criminals. And the reason why they're protected is, okay, national security about directed energy weapons. We don't want to tell the public about directed energy weapons or whatever. So all of these people's criminal activities are protected, and this keeps getting, and when they first started doing this, I'm sure whenever they started this program of surveilling and harassing and murdering innocent civilians, it was crime from the beginning. It was corrupt from the beginning. But as they get away with more and more time goes along, the targeted individuals are subjected to other crimes because they're like, well, nobody's going to know about this if we use this guy's credit card or we pass this guy's credit card information along to a bunch of people to use. Nobody's going to know about that. I mean, we're murdering him in his home. We're murdering his parents. We're using electronic warfare to murder his family, and nobody's doing anything about it. So might as well steal some money from him. And I'm sorry if I'm not conveying this perfectly. I am just my spine feels obliterated. When I got up, the pain pulsing in my back got better, and I think that this has something to do with blood flow while we're asleep. Our blood flows to our head, to our head and stuff like that. So when they're doing remote neural manipulation and entrainment, I think they can do things better when you're laying down. Like, I notice that the high-pitched sound increases when I'm laying down. I notice that a lot of things they do with remote neural manipulation increase, and I think that has to do with the blood flow in our body. It flows to our head, so a lot of these things actually increase. I'm kind of all over the map right now, but I am gonna, if somebody knows how to investigate credit card fraud and really find out exactly who did it and how it happened and has experience with this, please email me at vulcanwolverine@gmail.com. Barring that, I'm gonna go to Capital One tomorrow or the next day to investigate this, because the way that my attackers are, they'll usually do something, put their foot in the water in the shallow end to see how I react to it, and then if I don't cover my ass well enough, then they'll just do it way more. So I feel like this is a volley. They gave out my credit card information because I do need money to get my used car. It's really important right now, and it comes at exactly that time. So that's there's a pile of evidence that this is my attackers. This is my remote attackers doing this. But I know that my attackers usually will do something in a way to see how I'll react to it, to see if they can get away with something bigger. So I really am worried. I'm gonna have to go get a new, temporary card, but then they're gonna immediately have the number because they're remotely surveilling me. They can see everything on my phone. They can see, what's around me, so they can see the credit card number. I'm very, very worried about that. But I guess I'll be ready for it next time. And I guess I wanted to warn other target individuals to really watch your bank accounts and everything like this. I've heard many times from other target individuals that thousands of dollars have been stolen from them. A lot of theft, a lot of fraud, stealing of credit card numbers and buying stuff. Because when somebody is a targeted individual and they're receiving electronic murder, where the people are murdering them, then they're set up for other crimes. They're like, well, if we're destroying this person's life, we might as well take money from them, make sure they don't have any money to spend, or if they need money, which I think these people, who are microwaving us are getting thousands of dollars. They're getting a salary for the year, and I think it's big time money for these contractors. So they're greedy, but I'm trying to think where I was going with that. This is just wake up, people who are not target individuals. Also want to make another point, I guess, to non-target, because targeted individuals, you get this, how dark things have become, how corrupt things have become, that there is a criminal cartel. You know, the military industrial complex and these corporations have started doing hardcore cult crime, like hardcore cult